is this beautiful motif with a center that comes out of the fabric. On this video, I'm going to teach you how to do the Star Bright motif. I'm going to be using a 4mm hook and some acrylic yarn size 4. Okay, so we're going to start with a slip knot, and you're going to start with a base ring. For your base ring, we're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we want to close off this ring by doing a slip stitch into the very first chain that you just made. So we insert our hook into that slip stitch, grab the yarn and pull through to close. And we're going to be working into the center of that ring. Now for row 1, you're going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. And then we're going to work 8 double crochets into the ring. So here is 1, 2, and I'm going to do a total of 8. I'll see you when I'm done. Okay, I just did my 8th double crochet. To finish off this row, we want to do a slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 that you started with. So we find the top of the chain 3 and do a slip stitch. And this here is the end of row 1. For row 2, we're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This chain 5 counts as a treble crochet and a chain 1. And now we're going to work the following 8 times. You're going to find your next stitch and into it do a treble crochet. And then you want to do a chain 1. And you want that combination a total of 8 times. So into the next stitch, a treble crochet and a chain 1. And that's what you want to do all the way around. Continue doing that and I'll see you when you're done. Okay, I just did my 8th repetition. To finish off this row, we want to do a slip stitch into the 4th of the chain 5 that you started with. So you can count from bottom to top. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th, a slip stitch. And this here is the end of row 2. For row 3, we're going to do a slip stitch into the very first chain space. So around the chain space, just a slip stitch. And now we're going to chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This chain 11 counts as a double crochet and a chain 8, just so you know. And now into the same space, we're going to do 1 double crochet into the same space. Now you want to do 2 double crochets into the next chain space. 2 double crochets. And now into the next chain space, you want to do 1 double crochet. And now we want to do a chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And that ends the row repeat. So I'll go back to the beginning of the repeat. That basically starts at a double crochet into the same chain space that you're currently in. So 1 double crochet. Then into the next chain space, 2 double crochets. Here's 1 and 2. Into the next chain space, 1 double crochet. And now a chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That ends the row repeat. We want to go around, so I'm just going to finish this row together with you. Beginning of the row repeat is 1 double crochet into the same chain space. Into the next chain space, 2 double crochets. Here's 1 and 2. Into the next chain space, 1 double crochet. And now we want to finish off with a chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Sorry guys, there is hair everywhere today. This last one is my 8th. And now we're going to do the repetition, but not entirely. We're going to start off by doing a double crochet into the same space that you're currently in. So double crochet there. Into the next chain space, we're going to do 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Into the next and final chain space, 1 double crochet. And we're not going to do the chain 8 for this one. We're just going to do a slip stitch into the 3rd of the chain 11 that you started with. So we count 1, 2, 3. Into that 3rd chain, you want to do a slip stitch. And this here is the end of row 3. For row 4, we're going to do a slip stitch into the first chain 8 space. So this one here, just a slip stitch. We want to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And into this space, we're going to do 11 double crochets. So here's 1, 2, and 3. You want to do a total of 11. I'll see you when you're done. Okay, I just did my 11th double crochet. Continuing on, we're going to skip 1 double crochet and then do 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So basically the second double crochet here, do a double crochet, and also into the next one, a double crochet. Continuing on, you're going to skip the next double crochet, and into the next chain 8 space, you want to do 12 double crochets. So we do 1, 2, 3, and you want a total of 12. I'll see you when you're done. Okay, I just finished the repeat. I just finished the 12 double crochets, which finishes the repeat. So now we can go back to the beginning of it by skipping the next double crochet and then doing 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So here's 1, here's 2. Then we're going to skip the next double crochet and then do 12 double crochets into the next chain 8 space. So I'm going to do that off camera, a total of 12 double crochets, and I'll see you when we're done. I'm just going to do this row together with you so you can see the end. Okay, I just did my last 12 double crochets into the last chain 8 space of the previous row. So to finish this off, we're going to skip 1 double crochet and then do 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So here's 1 and 2. And then we're going to do just a slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 that you started with. So we're skipping these, find the top of the chain 3 that you started with, and then there do a slip stitch. And this here is the end of row 4. For row 5, we're going to start the row repeat by chaining 3 and then doing a slip stitch into each of the next 2 double crochets. So into the next double crochet, 8 slip stitch, into the next double crochet, 8 slip stitch. And you want to do that 5 times. So that was my first time. I'm going to do it again, chain 3, and then do a slip stitch into each of the next 2 stitches. So slip stitch here and slip stitch here. That's my second time. Chain 3, slip stitch into the next stitch, slip stitch into the next stitch. My third time. And as you can see, you're adding kind of like the border. We're going to do that again 2 more times. Chain 3, slip stitch into the next stitch, slip stitch into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, slip stitch and slip stitch. And I believe that's my 5th repetition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then do a slip stitch into each of the next 4 double crochets. So a slip stitch, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. And that ends the row repeat. I'll do it one more time with you. The row repeat starts at a chain 3 and a slip stitch into each of the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 and 2, and you want that 4 more times. So chain 3 and then a slip stitch into each of the next 2. 1, 2, 3, and then slip stitch and slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the next, slip stitch into the next. That's my 4th repetition, and I want 5 total. 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the next, slip stitch into the next. And now we want to move on to do a chain 3 and then do a slip stitch into each of the next 4 stitches. So slip stitch here, slip stitch here, slip stitch here, and my 4th. And that ends the row repeat. So as you can see, you're doing these kind of picot stitches around the edges. So you want to go back to the beginning of the row, repeat, do it 2 more times, and I'll see you when you're done. Okay, so I just did my final repetition. I've just done the chain 3 and slip stitch into each of the next 2 stitches 5 times. And so to finish off this row, we're just going to do a chain 3, our final one. And we should be slip stitching into the next 4 stitches, but at the end you're just going to have 3. So you're going to do a slip stitch into each of the next and last 3 stitches. That's 2 and 3. To finish off, you want to do a slip stitch into the chain 3 that you started with, into the top of the chain 3. Now you can go ahead and cut off your yarn and thread your ends through. This is really pretty. I like this a lot because the center kind of comes out. There's a little bit of dimension added to it, I guess, from that. So that's going to be the middle. And then on the outsides, you've got those 4 little loops, and the picots around add a really beautiful effect. So yeah, this is real pretty. Hey, while you're at it, why don't you just subscribe to my channel? Just do it. Just do it.